Welcome back to the shop again. I'm Bob and I'm your host here. This is the old Iron Lever channel. And today we're going to take another little job on that came in the shop a while ago. This is a tent exoskeleton. It's one of those things that kind of straightens itself out as it goes. There's one leg for it. And what's going on is in the center of it, there's three legs, and in the center of it is this piece here, and the ends of the legs go in there. The single leg you just saw goes in one of them, and there's a big old, a very long bungee cord that comes through. It has a knot in it to keep it from coming out. And then the other one is one that goes like so. There's two of them, and these take this piece here sits in and holds these together. So anyway, and this wallowed out, so it wasn't holding very well. The tent was, hard to put up and falling apart or whatever. But anyway, the folks had, made a temporary block out of wood, and it unfortunately broke right away. So anyway, my job is to make a better one. And what I'm going to do is make one out of steel. It's going to be the same dimensions, except it's a little bigger diameter to give me a little deeper socket to make it more stable. It'll be not a crazy amount of machining. It'll be some lathe work getting it ready, and then some mill work drilling these holes. They're like a 90 thousandths hole with no more than that. Anyway, it's like close to an 1/8 inch hole, or bigger, I don't know. Anyway, and it's basically countersunk so that it makes a seat for the end of the rod. I did need to order an 8.5 millimeter mill to fit these exactly right. So anyway, let's get on with it. First part of this is going to be to prepare a bar of steel here. I'm going to have the little disc that is the object of the project will be back on this end over here. It's a 1/2 inch thick. This is, I don't know, like 1.5 inches anyway. I'm going to turn this down small enough that it'll fit in a collet, and that'll be the thing I use to hang on to it from there on. So I'm going to go up pretty close to the chuck here and basically take it down to something like a 1 inch. I think my collets will take upwards of 1.125 inches if I go with the S-style collets. You can't shove something all the way through it, I believe. Yeah, there's a lip there. So I'm going to shoot for a 1 inch stem here to work on. As usual, we'll face it off just to be sure it's square. Most of the dimensions on this project are really not critical. Touch off and I'll zero my dial. And I think I'll take fairly light cuts. I'm having trouble with the belts in this machine, and I've been too lazy to go fix them. So yeah, we'll knock off piece at a time here. We get down in the general bar park at 1 o'clock. I'll start, or 1 inch. I'll start measuring it. chamfer on it. I'm just going to break it just a touch. That's about all I have room for. Okay, we'll turn it around, turn the other end down to 1 3/8, and then I've got to wait for some more tooling to come in to do something after that. Now this only needs to be a little under a 1/2 inch long, but I'm going to do it out at the end. This last little bit here will be to leave us some room for tooling when we're using the mill to drill holes and all that. So, all right, let's measure this. We're 1/498. Okay, we are at 1/498. So I want to be at 1/375, so take 123 off the diameter. Touch off. Okay, that looks pretty good. Chamfer the edges. Use drill at 5/16 and then we'll finish it with the tooling we have coming. I don't have any metric mills and things. So I've got one coming. Okay, they're going about an inch. That'll cover it. There. There's an inch. Alright, next we're going to get our DRO centered up on the end of this, 0, and the center this way, 0, and then I can measure in however far I need to. It's 0.238 from the edge of this to the center of the holes I'm going to drill. So here's the drawing. Okay, this is the original. We'll kind of ignore it and we'll zero in on this one. So we're going to drill these 3/16 holes in here first. We'll probably spot a little flat and then do a stub drill just to get them started, and then run the 3/16 all the way to the center. And then we get done with that, we'll come back with a 8.5 millimeter end mill, and we'll counter bore them down 415 thick, which will leave a little thin piece there for the legs to seat into. So anyway, first thing to do, get zeroed up with the edge finder. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to come up a little. I'm going to move in 100 thousandths. And I'm going to zero my X. Now I'm going to find the edges of this, and the easy way to do that, since I have, really need to be right on the outside edge here, the easy way to do that is I'm just going to hit the jaws. Okay, I zeroed my y-axis on the TRO on the fixed jaw. I'm going to hit the movable jaw, do the same thing. Well, I won't zero it. Okay, now I'm going to hit the center function, and that set us up. Okay. Okay, I want to be centered on it this way, and I want to be 238 in from the edge to be the center of what this will eventually be. Okay, Y is zeroed and locked, and then the X is at 238. It's locked, and so now we'll spot these holes. Let's see if that looks right. Yeah, it does. Let me grab the sample part. Yeah, they look very much alike, so. Okay, so I'm going to just spot a little hole there. Enough. All right, so we got all that stuff. I'm going to go ahead and spot these holes all the way around, and then come back and drill them. Okay, now I'm going to spot all the holes. Okay, we're going to drill these all the way through. Okay, now I'll switch over to the end mill and do the counterbore. So I'm going to touch off, lock my quill, 0 my Z, and go down 415 thousandths. Okay, that's it for this. We're going to move back to the lathe. The last two operations are going to be to use the 8.5 millimeter mill to run in a 1/2 inch, clear out that hole, and then we'll part it off just a little under 1/2 inch. Okay, I've got the edge of my parting tool touched off against here. I'm going to come in 500 plus the width of the tool, and I don't remember, I think it's an 1/8 inch, but I'm going to double check that. Yeah. So I'm going to go in a 1/2 inch plus the width of the tool. So there is 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 625. And that's where we're going to part it, I think. Let's see. Actually, I don't need to be. What was the actual width I had? 475. So I'm going to come back 25 thousandths. Let's see how that looks compared to the sample. Perfect. Okie dokie, let's go for it. Get something to catch it with. Get the cutting oil. It's locked up, ready to go. See if that improves it any. Okay, and while I got it in the jaws there, I'm going to go ahead and chamfer this outside edge here. I decided to blue it before I do anything else. So the first thing we do to blue it is we clean it really, really well. So I'm going to spray it down with some carb cleaner, probably 2 or 3 times. It out a little bit. Now I'm going to degrease it again. Okay, and now we're going to oil it. Start out with a clean rag again. Okay, there it is. Now I'm ready to string the bungee cords. Okay, there's the finished product. It's a nice snug fit. I think you'll be real happy with it. And there it is, all ready to go back in the bag. Well, thanks for watching as always. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you liked the content, we'll give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, please subscribe. We're up to almost 3,300 subscribers now, so the numbers have grown quite a bit since this pandemic's been going on, so I assume there's a lot of people sitting around with not a whole lot more to do than watch videos of my. I guess it's better than cat videos, huh? Unless cats, we're talking about Caterpillar Equipment Company, then those would be okay. Anyway, and if you have a comment you'd like to leave, you think I'd like to hear, well, please do leave it. Love to read the comments. I try to respond to as many as I can. Until the next video comes out, happy trails.